Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. We're here at RiskX in Rome with Mastercard. Stepping away from the event, joining us in the studio is Johan Gerber, Global Head of Security Solutions at Mastercard. Johan, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for having us. Great that you could join us here at the event as well.
It's been a fantastic event and covering some very interesting topics. And I want to begin our discussion by reflecting on the theme of the event, the age of acceleration, navigating unstoppable change, particularly in the realm of security, because in this fast-paced, ever-changing world, there is a lot to navigate, isn't there? So what's your take here? How should organizations, government bodies, and regulators, businesses all be approaching security today?
You know, it's such an important question that you're asking here. And I have to say, it all starts with the opportunity that's ahead of us. The opportunity is massive. If you think about the power that some of the new technology brings into the ecosystem, the ability to use AI agents, the ability to use different types of technologies, new business models that can be created, is enormous. The question is, how do we achieve those goals, and how does society benefit from those? It's not just society. Think about new businesses that will get enabled, new business models, new jobs that will be created, new startups that will be. We firmly believe security is an enabler to achieve that in a more sustained and more realized way in the future. So that's why this is so important for us at the Bell. So what we've done with this specific conference here is to bring together a bunch of thought leaders from across the world to talk and discuss this, but also to kind of explain our vision for what do we think the world will look like by 2030, and collectively as an industry, how do we get there? What are the no-regret moves that we need to make? If we consider that everything will be always on and always be connected, everything will be fueled by AI. And at the same time, from a geopolitical point of view, we'll be in a more of a bilateral and transactional environment. So if we think that's what the world is going to look like, how do we get there? And some big things and ideas that we're talking about is, what if we remove all card numbers? Simple things that you can think of. But the moment you do that, you're taking away so much opportunity for criminals. Mm-hmm. What if we make sure that everything gets tokenized so that if there's a problem, you can isolate it to the smallest piece? What if we make sure everything gets authenticated? So there's a whole list of things that we are talking through in our Vision 2030 that's important for us to how do we want to get there to exactly not just secure the world, but really enable the opportunity that we believe is ahead of us so society can actually benefit from that.
And what's very important is balance, isn't it? How important is balance in the need to stay ahead of AI-generated threats with the demand that we are seeing for smarter, more seamless customer experience?
Yeah, look, and AI specifically, again, is the same thing, right? There's massive opportunity, but the adversaries are also using AI, so there's risk. We, especially on the cybersecurity side, we have seen now that cyber criminals are actively using AI, not just in the beginning we saw them using AI specifically for deep fakes, social engineering, fueling scams. But we can now see the shift towards more automated cyber attacks, which is really scary. And I think one of our biggest fears is the impact that will have on small businesses, for instance. If you're a small business who can hardly understand cyber or have time to put onto cyber, how do you defend yourself? So there's a big balance on these kind of things. And one of the things we've actually launched today, which I'm really proud of, is this product called on-demand decisioning, where we actually want to allow our banks and financial institutions, and including those who are accepting our cards, so our businesses, to basically institute almost, think of it as an agent that's acting on your behalf, on our network, to make the decisions for you, to drive specific outcomes. So for instance, if you have a very high net worth portfolio or as individual customer that you want to treat differently, you can tell the agent, this is the kind of outcomes that you want for this customer, this portfolio, this business, and we will then go and execute those things for you in an automated way. So some really interesting things that we want to do. The whole notion is the balance that you outlined. There's opportunity, there's risk, but how do we provide you with creating that opportunity and put the guardrails around it so that you can go ahead with security? So something that we're very proud and passionate about in our world.
I'm looking forward to seeing more from that space. So talk us through partnerships. Why are they critical then to ensuring this vision you've spoken about to a more secure future? And what would you like to see happen from this space?
Yeah, I could keep you busy for 30 minutes just on that topic, but I'm very passionate about the fact that we need to work together. And as financial institutions, as businesses who accept the cards and who needs to accept payments, but also governments. I talked a little bit about the small businesses in the previous question. How do we work with governments to bring some of the solutions to bear at scale so we can actually protect an entire segment of small businesses? In many cases, in the world, small businesses is still the largest employer that there is. They play a massive role in the economy. But we can only help them if we all work together to do this. And the same for us with businesses. Mastercard connects. We are operating in more than 200 countries, 3.5 billion consumers, 150 million businesses where our cards can be used, 20,000 plus banks in the middle, and a whole slew of other technology providers. That's the ecosystem. So one of our biggest fear is fragmentation through sovereignty. Under the banner of sovereignty, you create fragmentation. So if things don't operate in the globe the way they should, you create these gaps for the criminals. And so that's why this collaboration and partnerships are so important. It's across public and private enterprises, it's with small businesses, but it is that collective. If I see something happening in one part of the world, I want to be able to warn the rest of the world. But if these systems can't talk, how do we make it happen? So that's why we are so passionate about the fact that we need partnerships, that we need standards, so that these systems can automate. The criminals move at the speed of light. We have to be more agile, and therefore we have to have standards so that agility can actually be realized.
Johan, thank you so much for sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure.
And thanks for having us. This is such an important topic for us, and you having this conversation is important because it really matters for everybody that's involved in commerce.